Good morning, everyone, and a warm welcome to our Learnifier Live customer event. Hope you are having a good morning or day or evening, depending on where in the world you are watching this. And as I mentioned, feel free to write a hello to us in the chat and also which city you may be watching this from. It would be fun to know. This event today is for you, our customers, to get you updated on some of the latest new features and also what's coming up ahead. And of course, also see some of the faces of Learnifier. I will soon hand over the word to my talented colleagues, but first some practicalities. Feel free to write your questions in the chat throughout. We have some Learnifiers who will be able to reply to them. And for those of you who have questions after these 45 minutes are done, we will remain for 15 more minutes to answer those. And also we will be recording this. So if you want to watch some parts of it again or share with others, you are able to do so. This event is 45 minutes long, and let's now have a quick look at the agenda. First, we're going to get a quick update on what's going on at Learnifier, told by our CEO and co-founder, Mattias Borg. After that, we're going to look at what's new and get a summary of some of our latest features by our co-founder and CTO, Jerker Klang, and our product manager, Mona Jönsson. Then we're going to dive into some of these functions and get a demo. And the first function we're going to talk about is automation of course enrollment on completion. And then our software developer, Johan Kasserfeld, is going to show us that. Then we're going to talk about automation of certificate renewal process. And that's going to be demoed by Niklas Wikström, our lead front-end engineer. And then we're going to talk about reusability of modules and activities. And that's going to be shown to us by Filip Lekström, our product designer. And then we'll wrap up at the end with what we are working on next, which Mona, our product manager, will take us through. And then we'll wrap things up at 9:45. So without further ado, I now hand over the word to our CEO and co-founder, Mattias Borg, live from Stockholm and his office in Vasastan.
Thank you, Rebecca, and hello to everyone. Great to see you all. We at Learnifier is on a mission to make training easy, engaging, and efficient. And I want to start with, because in everything we do, we strive to make it 10 times easier, 10 times more engaging, and 10 times more efficient to conduct training at scale to achieve your business outcomes. That's really what we are on a mission to do. I'm mentioning this because this is also fully reflected in our product strategy. And we always try to make at least one major improvement for one of these parameters, so easy, engaging, and efficient, in each of our major releases. And I think that's maybe a good thing to have in mind, and you'll probably hear us talking about also how we potentially, this pulse made a lot of things more efficient, for example. So we do release updates most weeks and sometimes even multiple times in one day, so the product is continuously updated. However, we've decided almost a year back that we believe that larger releases that would alter the behavior of the product in a major way, or might even require for you to change your behavior, those improvements and updates are best released on a quarterly basis, because then we can make it easier for you to stay on top on what's going in the product, help you plan on your end, and not be surprised with major releases happening just from one day to another. So that's why we are working in pulses. As you can see on this slide, we have been in pulse number 5, which today is concluded with this event. And we will also, at the end of today, as mentioned by Rebecca, talk a little about what we will be working on in the upcoming pulse, which internally is called pulse number 6. So enough talking from me. I will hand it over to our product and engineering team to share some of the things that we have been working on in pulse number 5. So over to our heavy metal and cat-loving CTO, Jerker Klang.
Thank you, Matthias. I will talk a bit about some of the highlights of new features and changes we have been doing since the last live event we had. So I will talk briefly about some features, and then we will have some more in-depth demonstrations of the really cool features that are coming out now. So one of the features that we have been changing is that we have a list all users report in the back office. That report has now been changed so that the first name and last name are in separate columns. This is a fairly small change, but for those who are using this report to actually import things back into Learnifier, this is a big help since imports require first name and last name in separate columns. Also, we are happy to announce for those who like details, and I know there's a lot of you that like details, we now have a detailed project status report as well, which as previously the project status report contains information on activity level. With this new detailed project status report, you will also find progress on each component in the course. So for those who really love details, you have a new report to enjoy. And this is live as we speak. And this is kind of more of a bug issue, but we know that there's a lot of people that has remarked and have commented on this. So we are happy to announce that it is solved now. For those who are using score modules, sometimes when you leave the score module, there's a back to the course button. It didn't always take you to where you expected it to go. But we are now happy to announce that when you click on back to course, it takes you back to the place where the start button to the score was before. So it takes you where you sort of expected it to go. Also, one handy thing for administrators is that it is now possible to see if learners have archived their courses. Because as you might know, learners have a My Courses page, and they have the option to archive courses there, which means that they hide them from their normal view. This has been an area where helping them out can be a bit confusing because they might not know that they have archived the course, and someone helping them out don't know if they have done it or not. But now you can. So if you go into the user details page in the admin interface, you can see if people have archived the courses or not. And also a new feature that is connected to one of the big development items we launched at the last live event. And that is that automated communication now work with personalized content courses. And what this means is that if you address people, if you make an automated communication rule, you can make it so that it only targets a specific segment of that personal content course. So if you have an activity that is divided into two versions or segments, you can now address communication to just one of them to make an even more living and compelling learner journey for those who are using this personalized content feature. Other than that, we are constantly working with performance tweaks, and there's a lot of small bugs, and we have added a lot of other features, too many to cover here in a short moment. But we have a few performance tweaks that we are happy and a bit proud of to speak a bit about. The learner experience now loads 2 to 4 times faster. For many of us who are here in Sweden, we are perhaps perhaps a bit spoiled by having super fast internet, both in our homes and on our mobiles. But the world is not as high-speed internet capable as here. So we believe that some of these changes actually make a difference for some of our learners, and load time is one of the aspects that affect how happy people are with the experience. Also, the reports, some of the reports are heavy, take a long time to generate. We are constantly monitoring the system for slowdowns and checking out internally how fast things or slow they go. And we have noticed some of the reports have been very slow, and we have done optimizations there, and some of the larger reports have an up to a 20 times speed increase, which is quite significant and should make some of you that are extracting large reports hopefully even more happy. And all these are sort of user-facing changes that the users and administrators can see this, but also something that is very important for us are integration. Learnifier wants to be a team player, both with people and with other technical systems. So we have done some integration changes as well. So one of the API changes, and APIs, as you might remember, that's sort of the language on how one system can talk to another system. We now have a feature that we call personal API keys. And that's important for you that are sort of larger customers or customers that are doing third-party integrations. Previously, when you generated an API key, you either generated an API key for your whole Learnifier instance or for a specific client in your Learnifier instance. Once that key was generated, that gave the user of the key full access to either your whole instance or a whole client within your instance. This could be problematic if this is a third-party integration. So we now have personal API keys, and that means that you can generate an API key for a specific user in the system, and that key then only get access to what that user have access to. So that connects to the permission system that we have, so you can do very fine-grained permission control for those API keys. So if you want to let in a third party that shouldn't have access to everything, you can control this in very much details with these personal API keys. This is a beta function, which means that we are quite confident that it should work well, but we haven't had that many users of this function yet. So we still want to reserve a bit that there might be issues as we haven't had enough usage hours to really say that this works stable. But for those who are interested, this is ready to be used right now, and it should work fine. Also, another feature is that ancestry information is now available in the API. This is a mouthful for those who are not into the technical details here. But one of the other features that we launched at the last live event was the ability to retake a course. So one person can take and retake a course several times. And this information that you are doing a course several times, that's what we call ancestry information. And those details are now available in the API, so you can see details about that. Then we have webhook updates. Webhooks are the concept when Learnifier are sending a message to another system that something have happened. And one of those somethings that we are now sending is when users are created. So we can notify another system that a user is created in Learnifier. Also, some of our customers are using usernames instead of emails on their users. And the username information is now available in the webhooks as well. And this is also a bit of a house cleaning feature, but I know it's appreciated by some of you. We are now supporting allow listing. And that means that once you set up a webhook connection from Learnifier to your system, we send as soon as something happens that the webhook system understands, as soon as something happens, it sends that action over to the other system. But there can be a lot of messages and a lot of messages that you aren't interested in. And with allow listing, we can configure that this system should only receive this or that event, which can be convenient. So these are some of the technical features and improvements that we have been doing since last time. But let's go over to some of the more exciting stuff and see some demos of some new features. So I'm handing over to Mona Jönsson, who will introduce some of these features for us.
Thank you very much, Jarkko. That was exciting. So I'm hoping that everybody's just as excited as I am to be here and see our new features. This will be my first official live event as a product manager with Learnifier. So looking forward to many more and getting to know every single one of you guys out there. So without further ado, let's dive in and start our presentation of the three main features that we are working on in our Pulse 5. The three pieces we have worked on is, our first one is auto enrollment upon course completion. So currently there is not a way for administrators to automatically enroll participants into a new project once the participant has finished a current course. This can only be done manually, and it can be time consuming for a course with many participants, requiring additional time spent on course management and planning. So with the addition of this feature, administrators can now set up automatic enrollment into a new course for participants who complete the current course. This is making the re-enrollment process more efficient and the course management process easier. Automating this is another step for us to making mundane tasks less frequent in our product. With this feature, the administrators can also plan ahead and automatically have participants continue the next step of their learning into a new selected course. And also with our automated communication, provide communication around that as an extra piece. But our automatic communication is already in place, as you might know. This feature will be part of our professional and enterprise plans. And with that, I'm going to hand off to our team member, Johan, who will show you how this feature works both for the admin and participant experience. Johan, over to you.
Thank you, Mona. Hello, everybody. My name is Johan Klesfeldt. I'm a developer here at Learnifier, and I'm going to show you this new feature that we've been working on. So I am here in a course in the admin interface on the overview page. And we have added this section down here on the right side where you set up which course that learners will be enrolled to once they are completed with the current one. So I'm gonna remove this because I have tried this this morning, just so you know. And also, by the way, I'm gonna show you what it looks like from the learner's perspective as well. So to add this next course, you click on this button here. There will gonna be a pop-up dialog with some more details about how this function works. I can paste this in the chat so you can read it later. And down here is a drop-down with available courses that you can choose. So I'm gonna take this second course here and just add it. And once you add it, it's gonna look like this. You can change it by clicking on this pen, or you can remove it as I just did. And if you look at this participant list here in this first course, there is one participant, and that is me. And if I log into my user from the Learner portal, it's going to look like this. I have this first course here, and I am the only one in this course. But since we choose this second course as the follow-up course, I'm gonna mark this learner as completed. It would be the equivalent of the learner completing the course by itself. Completed. And now we can go to the second course here. I can actually click through. We also made this a link. So this is the second course here is a link to that course's overview page. So I'm going to use that. And if we look at the participant list here in the second course, I am enrolled to this course. You don't have to activate it. The learner can start with it right away. And from the learner's perspective, if we go in here and refresh the page, we now have a second course, and it's not started yet. I'm having Swedish language on here. And yeah, the learner can start with it right away. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you guys gonna like it. Thank you. Mona?
Thank you, Johan. That was a great demo. Great. Then let's move on to our second feature for this demo, automation of certificate renewal. So as of right now, participants that need to get recertified have to be manually re-enrolled into the same course by the administrator. And if you have a large number of participants in a course or a large number of courses, this can be quite time-consuming and a pretty inefficient process for the administrator. So with this ability, where you can set up automatic re-enrollment and provide communications based on a certificate expiry date, there are clear benefits for both the administrators and the participants. For the administrator, that means that you can set up an automatic enrollment so that participant will restart a course to maintain their certificates as active. So pretty much set it up, and then you don't have to worry about it as time goes on and the course progresses. You can also then provide proactive notifications and messaging around that expiry dates to have participants and managers aware of the upcoming date or expiry date so that they both can take any necessary actions needed. And for the participants, I would imagine if you have a professional certificate that's required for you to keep your job, would be pretty concerned to keeping that active and current. So in those instances, this feature will provide a peace of mind that the participants will receive a timely heads up to start working towards keeping their certificate current. So that's a nice peace of mind to have, I believe. And again, this feature will be part of our professional and enterprise price plans. And with that, I'll turn over to Nicholas, who will show everyone how this feature works in our actual product. Nicholas, you're in the spotlight.
Thank you, Mona. My name is Nicholas. I'm a front-end engineer at Learnifier. And today I'm very happy to show you our new updated page for creating certificates. Right now, I'm at the materials page that can be found from the library menu on the administrator page. So let's go ahead and create a new certificate. Yeah, and as you can see, the design has been updated here, and there are some new sections here on the left side that has been added with the functionality that Mona talked about. So here in the info section, we add a name for the certificate. Default, the expiration is set to 12 months for the certificate, and a notification will take place in Learnifier 30 days before the certificate expires, and it will be sent to the learner. An admin and a manager can also be notified. And down here we have, as before, the possibility to create a printable PDF document with learner and course information. So nothing has been updated at this section, basically as before. So let's step to next section, which is auto re-enrollment. And default, it is set to off, which means that the administrator needs to manually re-enroll learners to have their certificate renewed. But if we set it to on, we can have an automatic re-enrollment for learners to a new course a number of days before the certificate is about to expire. So we go ahead and select an interesting course here that the learners will be enrolled to 30 days before the certificate expires. And we also click this checkbox to have this certificate be remained in and active in the selected course. Yes, and we step to the next section, which is communication. And here we have the possibility to create multiple messaging and notifications that will occur at different times to different recipients, and they will be sent out related to the expiration. So let's go ahead and create one here. We set a name and the time when it will be sent related to the expiry date, 30 days before the certificate expires. We send it to an admin. We can select if it will be sent as a mail or as a notification in Learnifier. And here we set up the message. And we can also add dynamic content that is related to the course, like the learner name, the course name, expiration date, and so on. And it will be added and generated dynamically when the message is sent out. So here we can create multiple messaging, and they will be stacked below each other. And we can duplicate them and change small things, and change when it will be sent. So we can have like a sequence that we set up. Yeah, and on the last summary page, we can see all the things that we have set up according to this new certificate. So we have like a summary of all the things. And when we are ready to add the certificate, we click here, and the certificate will be created and added to the library. And I can show you just quickly. I go into a course page here, and here we attach the certificate to this project by clicking here and selecting it from the library. Yeah, so now we have a project with this newly created certificate. Yeah, that's all for me. Back to Mona.
Awesome demo, Niklas. Thank you very much. Great. So that is our automation of certificate renewal feature. Lastly, we're going to show you our reuse modules and activity function, which is, I think, highly anticipated, as I've heard the need and the wants from some of you and your colleagues already around this. So we're really happy to be able to present this and allow you guys to be very flexible in how you reuse your modules and content across courses and projects. So as you might know, right now, there is no way for administrators to use a module or activity that you've built and then copy or share that module activity across to other projects or courses. So that would mean you would have to rebuild that same module for each course where you would like to have it included. That can be a little bit tedious. Especially have a lot of projects that you want that specific modules to be included in. So with this feature, we're now providing the ability to repurpose a module or activity so you can build your courses without having to start from scratch. Or for instance, if you created an exceptional introductory module for a project and you want to use that across other projects and courses, since it's such a big hit, this introductory module, you can now easily reuse it and make smaller tweaks to it across other projects that you want to use it in. So you can repackage or repurpose your content to target a new or different subsets of your audience in different ways, just making it a little bit more pliable. Yeah, and then we have the ability to make edits to a module and activity that is built from within the library, where you, in that case, make any edits or updates in the library module activity that will flow out to the other instances where you are actually using that specific module and activity. So easy management and updating of content on a module and activity level will be part of this as well. This much awaited feature will be part of the professional and enterprise plans, with the caveat of the ability of copy from project A to project B, to take in a module and activity from project A or project B, which will be part of all price plans. So that functionality will go across our professional, enterprise, and starter plans. But the ability to have something in the library that kind of flows out to your projects, or edits that flows out to your projects and courses, that way will be part of the professional and enterprise. And with that, I know everybody's saying, yeah, get it over with. We want to see how this actually looks in the product. So I'm going to turn it over to Johan, and he's going to be able to help you with that. Sorry, Philip, that's your turn, Philip.
I got the cue.
Over to you.
No worries. Yeah, so my name is Philip. I'm a product designer at Learnifier. Now I'm going to show you how to create a reusable activity or module so you can reuse it throughout your courses. So let's see here. Yeah, you're at your projects over here, and then you head over to materials in the library here. And here we've added two new things. So you can create a reusable activity or a module, and I'm just going to show you how to do an activity. And for the sake of illustration, let's call it animals, something simple like that. And now I'm going to edit it like that. Yes. So I'm just going to call it animals over here. Going to use some images, but you can insert whatever you want to choose. I'm just doing images. Let's take a cat with a butterfly. Going with that. Looks cool. I'm saving it. Now I'm going back, and let's see here. Yeah, so I've created this activity that I then can reuse throughout my courses. So if I head over to projects, and if I go to my reusable components project, I use my secret doorway over here. It's a beta version. And then if I then, yeah, you'll see here that in the left menu, we have added a new button over here. So you have your regular like new activity or new module, but we also have this drop down where you can now sort of import an activity, which I've just created from the library. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So if I click on that, go to shared library, I can now see my animals activity over here. If I now add and close it, I can now see that I have a cat. And so how it works is that this is like a linked copy. And if I change something in the library level, these changes will trickle down to all the projects that have the same linked copy attached to it. So if I publish this, what I'm going to show you now is that if I change the image, how that sort of affects the projects that use the same component. Go back to materials, look at the animals over there, edit. Yeah, so now I want to change this cat to something else, maybe. Hit image over there. Let's take a dog now. Oh, this one's fun. Yeah. It's fun. So if I now go back to the same project, I've now then updated this activity over here and this way. Let's see here. Yeah, I've now got a cute little dog instead. So that's how you then sort of can reuse this activity and like place it in different projects so that, yeah, you don't have to redo the work all over again. And the same thing goes then for modules, that you can then sort of create a module with your activities in it and then sort of, yeah, create your perfect recipe and then import it into different projects. So I've pre-made another one called fruits. Importing it, you can now see that I have different kinds of activities containing fruits. And if you, for some reason, feel like, okay, that's very nice and all, but I might want to tweak something in this specific course, so I need to, yeah, override it. You can then sort of unlink it, and now you have the possibility to sort of change it however you want. Like maybe I want to write the dog here instead. So now you can sort of customize it as you want. Same goes for here as well. And the modules over there. Now you can add different activities as well. And this last bonus thing as well, where you can sort of, if you have an activity or a module, which you don't really remember, but it was like a certain project that, like, yeah, I want to reuse that, but I don't have a reusable component in the library. What you can do then is then sort of import an activity from a project that you know. Like, for example, I'm going to take this one, road trips, and I have this, or in this module, I have an activity called my map, and it's like, yeah, I want that one. So now I've imported that one, and I've successfully also just copied an existing activity from a project into this. And that's basically it. So yeah, back to you, Mona.
That was really great, Philip. Thank you very much for that. I'm glad to see that people are already saying, yay, we've been waiting for this one. And just to be clear, this feature, if you go looking for it in the product right now, you won't find it. It will be there within a week or two. We need to wrap up some last pieces. That's why Philip had a nice little backdoor so he could show you what it will look like when we have it pushed out to everybody to go in and try out. So give us another week or two and we will have it out and ready for you guys to use. The next portion of this live event will be looking at what's coming for our Pulse 6. And in our Pulse 6, we will focus on selected enhancements to the course catalog with a focus on the learner experience to start off with. We will do kick off our LIT project or Learnifier interface toolkit process. Feel free to imagine some flames coming up around that, playing on the word lit a little bit. And then we will deliver on some small customer commitments and bug fixes. So just kind of giving you some context on around each of these 3 points. The selected enhancements to the course catalog on the learner side will be focused on, or some of the things will be focused on updating the look and feel of the learner UI. So refreshing it a little bit, sprucing it up, if you may. And that will carry on, the learner experience UI improvements will carry on as we continue to make improvements in future projects. We're also providing a better way for participants to filter for courses, for instance. There are a few more high priority enhancements that I'm sure you guys will be excited to see, but I just want to mention a few of those. And let's look into the crystal ball and look at Pulse 7 even. In Pulse 7, we're going to actually make the same or similar enhancements to the learner, to the administrator experience of the course catalog. So we're coming full circle on the course catalog improvements. Our implementation of LIT just basically means we're improving our product development process by aligning our UX and developers around the common components we use when we build our product. So some of the outcomes will be we'll have a higher throughput, we will be able to develop our product more efficiently, and we will align our components across all interfaces. So will be more evident on your end as a more cohesive user experience throughout the process. So this work will be kicked off in this pulse, and then it will be part of every improvement we do in the product moving forward. So it's going to carry over again into all the improvements we do in the future. We also then, as Jerker mentioned earlier, we always strive to ensure a high quality and continuous improvement on our product. And part of that process is to take in any bugs that gets reported through internal or external sources. And we also have a few specific customer commitments that we need to deliver on in this pulse, not to go into specific as that is not for everybody to see or have benefits from at this point. So yeah, just giving you a glimpse of what's coming up in the upcoming pulse for us. And thank you all for looking at our demo. I'm going to pass it back to Matthias so he can finish our live session. Thank you, everybody. Over to you.
Thank you, Mona, and to the product and turning to the great seeing the new things upcoming here. So as Mona mentioned, we will now go into Pulse 6. We haven't set a date yet for the next live event, but it will be planned for late August. So keep an eye on your inbox and the invite will show up. Before wrapping up here today, I actually have a bit of an ask to you. We are working hard to provide an even better experience and product for you. We have very ambitious plans for the future, and we want to continue developing our products and our services. But to be able to accomplish that, one of our key challenges is finding talent that can help us achieve this. So I'm asking here today that if you have people in your network that you think might be a good fit for us, that you think it could match any of these roles that we're currently looking for. So we're looking for learning designers in the sense of helping the product team build out some ready-built content. We are also looking for engineers. You can see a number of roles here. If you have anyone in your network that you think might be a good fit for this, please reach out and either make an introduction or just nudge us and we can reach out. We will also include this information in the email that will follow up following this live event. So just a little bit of an ask so we can continue developing our product and service. So with that said, I'll hand it over to you, Rebecca, so that you can wrap up today's event.
Thank you, Matthias, and also thank you every one of you who have been participating here today. We hope that you will be able to use some of these new features. As we mentioned, we will be sending out an email summarizing some of these new functions, and also you will be able to get the recording, of course. Now, if you have any questions regarding these features or anything else, feel free to reach out to our friendly support and customer success team. And now, for those of you who want to remain, we will stay here for another 15 minutes if you have some questions to ask us. But for those of you who check out now, we say as we always do here at Learnifier, may the learning be with you, and thank you.